My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is September 28, 2024. It is 1:04 p.m. So I'm in the middle of editing whatever I recorded in the middle of the night. So I just came across this and I wanted to listen to it. So let me record and I'll share it with you. Okay, they finally admit the truth. UK King Charles has the ultimate power to grant Prince Harry, Meghan, and their kids police protection in the UK. That Charles removed it and refuses to say more about him as a father, grandfather, and king. He never deserved Harry as a son. Well, let's remember. This goes back, I keep on saying this, I know some of you don't believe it, but I truly believe it. In my humble opinion, since the Queen father died, the institution tried to get Charles since baby to understand, like to be on the paper's side, or whoever is trying to take control of the institution. It could be the paper, it could be whatever, whoever wants control. Okay, so they've been trying to get him on his side. They made him believe certain things since he was a baby. So you see, when Harry was talking to him where he wanted to take on the paper, and then Charles said something like, it's like a monster. I'm paraphrasing. I don't even remember the exact word. He was trying to prevent Harry from doing that, as if this is something to be afraid of.
Around this time that I began to think Murdoch was evil. No, strike that. I began to know he was. Firsthand. Once you've been chased by someone's henchmen through the streets of a busy modern city, you lose all doubt about where they stand on the great moral continuum. All my life, I'd heard jokes about the links between royal misbehavior and centuries of inbreeding, but it was then that I realized lack of genetic diversity was nothing compared to press gaslighting. Marrying your cousin is far less dicey than becoming a profit center for Murdoch Inc. Of course, I didn't care for Murdoch's politics, which were just to the right of the Taliban's. I didn't like the harm he did each and every day to truth, his wanton desecration of objective facts. Indeed, I couldn't think of a single human being in the 300,000-year history of the species who'd done more damage to our collective sense of reality. But what really sickened and frightened me in 2012 was Murdoch's ever-expanding circle of flunkies. Young, broken, desperate men willing to do whatever was necessary to earn one of his grinchy smiles. And at the center of that circle were these two mopes. The Tweedles.
There is something Charles is afraid of. Whether it's the paper or whoever was putting things in his mind since he was child. But remember, it's a group of collective of people till he gets older. It's a group of collective people. When they're going to do something, they coach the other one who's going to be closer to him. This is what you need to tell him. This kind of thing. So now, Charles is king. This is where he's at now. Look how he trained William to be the same thing as him. So the papers, the people who move the country, already got him where he's at. Him and William. What I'm afraid of is William's kids. I don't know how they're raising him. So most likely one of them or all three of them will follow the same footstep. So Charles is afraid of something. But thank God, Princess Diana was talking to Harry since child, and then make Harry become a critical thinker. So even after Princess Diana died, and they try to shape him to whatever it is that they want, and Harry keep on questioning himself. If this is that, if you're telling me this, how come that is happening? So Harry, always a critical thinker. Things did not add up to him whenever his father is telling him some BS. His father probably truly believed on some of the things he was telling Harry.
Do everything you can to make sure that whatever negative experiences that you had, you can make it right for your kids. We chose to put our mental health first. That's what we're doing, and that's what we will continue to do. Isn't this all about breaking the cycle? Isn't this all about making sure that history doesn't repeat itself? That whatever pain and suffering has happened to you, that you don't pass on?
But Harry, as a smart person, and then remember, they keep on pushing him, make him go outside to do engagement, places they did not want to go. They sent him.
I think that, look, lots of people say that, oh, your job of traveling the world is wonderful. Of course, it's wonderful, but when we get sent to some countries, we don't always get to see the beautiful parts. We're always there trying to deal with some of the issues, but also doing everything we can to bring people together.
And Harry broadened his eyes, and he sees things, and he understands things, and understand pain, sorrow of the little people. Okay. And that also be attachment to Princess Diana. Princess Diana made him see certain things as a child. So when he gets older, as they're sending him to do engagement, some of the things were starting to click with him. From what Princess Diana told him to what he was experiencing, things were clicking. All these are my humble opinion. But things with his father were not clicking. That's the thing. They were not matching with what he was experiencing and witnessing with his own two eyes. So by the time he gets older, his father's telling him BS, and he's joined the army. He listened to people and all of that. All these things play a role in it. But they got Charles. They got William, because they don't go outside of their bubble. Okay, so let's listen to this. So I didn't even hear what they were saying, but I started based on the caption. So let's listen. 52 seconds.
Harry with his wife or his children. If that was a decision made, and it would have to be with the approval of the King and the Queen, be rest assured that the British government, in close concentration and with the Metropolitan Police, would make sure that they would receive together the right protection.
Exactly the point.
But now listen, remember, Charles removed, for those who are new, go back to PYTE. There were some articles I was reading where the private secretary of the Queen, before the Queen died, private secretary, Charles removed that guy. Okay, this guy was truly, I forgot his name. I read that a long time ago, but look at the screen. I'll be putting some of these things. Charles removed the secretary of the King. The private secretary was pretty much the eyes and ears of the Queen outside of whatever. So anything that needs to be said, that needs to be arranged, was to protect the crown. And that person was doing it. Even when Charles and Andrew were asking for things, and that private secretary felt like it was not good for the crown. So they didn't get what they want. Because they did not get what they want, Charles and Andrew teamed up together to remove that private secretary and then put, what's this guy's name? I'll put his picture. He has a glasses. I forgot his name. Something, Edward Young. Okay, so that Edward Young was pretty much the eyes and ears of the Queen, but at the discretion of Charles. Okay, you could see there's some pictures of Meghan with the Queen, and that guy was behind the Queen. So he got to hear everything that was going on between the Queen and Meghan, and then they will report to Charles, and then Charles and William will do the conspiracy things to mess up things. Okay, remember all of this. And now, when they took Harry's security and they prevent him from getting security, Harry was blindsided because some of the people that were working within the institution, the firm, he didn't know they were part of Ravik. All of this, I have all of this on PYTE. Harry did not know they were the same group of people who were part of Ravik. And I believe Simon Case was in there somewhere too. and later on, I read somewhere, I think, in my humble opinion, Simon Case was one of those people, part of Ravik, doing some stuff. I don't know how strong his presence was there, but in some old articles or something I read, he was there too. So Charles arranged everything. So I could understand Harry thinking that Ravik, the firm, every part of the institution or every offices are independent of each other, but to protect the crown at its best. But Charles put his people, that's the thing. Charles put his people in every basis. This is what I mean by the recycle system. He put his people in every places. So when Harry realized that, oh, what Edward Young is doing there, what this person is doing there, he was supposed to work in the firm. Why are they there, mingling with my security, this kind of thing? That's because they were listening to Charles. Okay, all of this were this group of people. When I talk about security and all of that, Ravik, the Five Eyes, and all, it's through that I learned all of this. I did my own makeshift research. Okay, the only two people who were against some of these things, like say for removing the private secretary of the Queen, was Anne and Edward. They felt like this guy was incompetent. He wasn't doing his job properly. But apparently, when you look at it now from afar, he was doing what Charles told him to do. So the Queen, like at the Syndrome, okay, the Queen, I could understand the Queen was blindsided, did not know all of the nonsense that was going on.
Began to address Granny about the 5 options. Your Majesty, you've seen the 5 options? Yes, she said. We all had. They'd been emailed to us. 5 different ways of proceeding. Option 1 was continuance of the status quo. Meg and I don't leave. Everyone tries to go back to normal. Option 5 was full severance. No royal role, no working for Granny, and total loss of security. Option 3 was somewhere in between, a compromise, closest to what we'd originally proposed. I told everyone assembled that, above all, I was desperate to keep security. That was what worried me most, my family's physical safety. I wanted to prevent a repeat of history, another untimely death like the one that had rocked this family to its core 23 years earlier, and from which we were still trying to recover. I'd consulted with several palace veterans, people who knew the inner workings of the monarchy and its history, and they all said option 3 was best for all parties. Meg and I living elsewhere part of the year, continuing our work, retaining security, returning to Britain for charities, ceremonies, events. Sensible solution, these palace veterans said, and eminently doable. But the family, of course, pushed me to take option 1. Barring that, they would only accept option 5. We discussed the 5 options for nearly an hour. At last, the bee got up and went round the table, handing out a draft of a statement the palace would soon be releasing, announcing implementation of option 5. Wait, I'm confused. You've already drafted a statement? Before any discussion? Announcing option 5? In other words, the fix was in this whole time? This summit was just for show? No answer.
Why do you think is that? Because Edward Young did not transfer some of the information to the Queen. They keep the Queen in the dark. So the Queen didn't say anything because Harry is Charles' son. So the Queen step out of it and leave it alone. But things that Harry needed, let's say for instance, to get married, wait until the Queen is by herself to ask the Queen if he could marry the Meghan. Because the nonsense that they told him, okay, they told Harry was that, oh, you need permission for the Queen. The Queen didn't even know. Okay, I think it's in his book as well. He waited, they were doing something. I don't know if it was hunting. But Harry, this is the brilliance of Harry. He knows other people will deter the Queen from approving that. So he waited. The groups, the secretaries or something, told him, oh, you need the Queen's permission before you do that. So Harry waited. He did not give it to a third person to translate that to the Queen. They went hunting. He waited until people out of the Queen's periphery, because he knows those people will disagree, will deter the Queen from approving that. So he waited until everybody was away from the queen and asked the queen by himself when the queen was alone. And the queen was like, if you read the book, as if, why are you asking me? You want to marry her, just marry her. Something like that. That's my interpretation of it. Okay? So all of the people, Charles was setting up his bases and everything. And this is why I said, I don't think the queen died naturally. Yes, she could probably had cancer at that time. That was the rumor. She had cancer and everything. She could. But the way it went, I don't agree with it. And my crazy mind, I don't think the queen died naturally. Why do I say that? Because at the time, Harry and Meghan were in the UK and they were traveling to the 1 year leading to Dusseldorf and Victus. So people were cheering for him. They were happy and all of that. Meghan did her speech for One Young World and everything like that. Okay? And they were supposed to come back to the UK. They did not want the British people to cheer for them. So they put them in the sorrow stage and then they threw the queen under the bus. This is my interpretation of it. Okay? And then they didn't even let him know. They were doing all this crazy stuff, prevent him from seeing the queen and all of that. And I think it was Anne I think Anne was there with them to see the queen and all of that. So again, this is my crazy conspiracy theory. I didn't read it anywhere. It's just two things that I read and I add those things together for myself. And they didn't want Meghan. This is the funny part. They didn't want Meghan to be there. Why do you think? Because Meghan will question things. If, Meghan will, when she walks into the room to see the way things are arranged, she will question stuff. So they made sure Harry was by himself. But anyway, so yes, back to this. Charles could have easily said yes to give him security. What happened when they claimed that he had cancer? What happened? Harry flew from wherever he was, California, and go to the UK. Who was there to receive him at the airport? Then he'll have the security? So this is what this guy is saying here. Charles had the say. If he wanted Harry to have security, he could have it. And I also think, again, this is my crazy mind thinking. I didn't read it anywhere. As for the public, they say he has cancer. There's a possibility he might have. However, I think they threw the cancer into the mix to get Harry to the UK because he wanted to speak with him. I mean, how much can he do? He could have easily talked to him over the phone. But he wanted him over there to talk to him, but the plan was to take him someplace else. Harry was not going back. But luckily, Harry was like, nope, I have prior engagement. People supposed to meet me. That's when he went, I think, Vegas to do the award where the guy called him, this is freaking Prince Harry, whatever. Okay, so he had that to go to. And Charles, when he flew to UK to meet with Charles to see how he was doing with the cancer thing, Charles didn't even stay for 1 hour. About 45 minutes, and then he wanted to take him someplace else. Harry was like, no. So Charles took his helicopter and left. Okay, this is why I think he doesn't even have cancer. If he does, hey, I've been wrong so many times with those royals. Okay, but that's my conspiracy here. If Charles really wanted Harry to have security, Harry could have had security. But let's not forget again. Come January 2025, there is a lawsuit that Harry is taking the papers and Harry is not backing down. So he's doing all he can. I don't know. There must be something on Charles and William to make sure Harry does not take that lawsuit all the way. But Harry made up his mind. All right? I think he's one of some other people who's taking it all away. Other people had already stopped and they take their losses or whatever, they move on, but Harry's going all the way. So they are pissed about that. So they're putting as much pressure as possible on Harry to stop. And Harry is not stopping because, can you imagine? Harry lost his child and so many other things. You think all those BS they were putting Harry and his wife through, you think he's gonna stop now? They miscalculate him. And thank God Harry stayed quiet. throughout his stay as working royal then said too much, whatever. Maybe he did, I don't know. But whatever was made public, he kept it to himself. But when he's out, hey, they're learning now who Harry is truly is. Okay? So I think I talked too much. I will play it again, but let's continue.
That is why she's not travelling. No, it's not an end of story.
But it is. I just told you what it is.
No, but the fact is, he believes that if he brings his wife with him, she will not be afforded the protection that he feels is necessary.
That's what he believes. I'm not saying that.
But you're saying it's got to be put to the test. What? Leave her exposed. The reality is he doesn't believe that is what he's going to get, and that's why he's taking the court case.
All right.
Oh,
let's see. The court case, I think, is going to roll and roll on till next year, I think. We're expecting.
Oh,
Harry,
look at this. I didn't even know about the court case they mentioned here. I literally saw it and I was like, I need to listen to it. Because in order for me to listen to it, I have to record it so you could get my honest, original thought of it. So all this, the security and everything, is because of the lawsuit. Okay, let's start all over. Hopefully I don't have anything to say. I'm starting all over. Screenshots, okay?
Harry with his wife or his children. If that was a decision made, and it would have to be with the approval of the King and the Queen, be rest assured that the British government, in close concentration and with the Metropolitan Police, would make sure that they would receive together the right protection.
That's exactly the point. That is why she's not travelling. No, it's not an end of story.
But it is. I just told you what it is.
No, but the fact is, he believes that if he brings his wife with him, she will not be afforded the protection that he feels is necessary.
That's what he believes. I'm not saying that.
But you're saying it's got to be put to the test. What? Leave her exposed. The reality is he doesn't believe that is what he's going to get, and that's why he's taking the court case.
All right. Let's see. The court case, I think, is going to roll and roll on till next year, I think. We're expecting.
Harry with his wife.
So I was right. Everything has to do with the lawsuit. All these debacle, the security and everything, the discomfort they're putting him through has to do with the lawsuit. And the other thing as well, knowing what we know now, how could you trust the police? Okay, so many of them have been let go because of their racist thought chat on, what is it? What's that chat room that they talk about? Okay, you can't trust them. So everybody show their card. Meghan and Harry are out, so it's best. Let's see here. All right, so let's continue. Because one, Charles wants to control Harry and Meghan, and if unaliving Harry and or Meghan is the only way, Charles and William are obviously okay with that. Two, Charles and William don't want the optics of crowds coming out to see Harry and Meghan. There's the thing that I was saying regarding the during the Queen death. Okay, they wanted to stop the crowd. I mean, the thinking is completely evil if this is the way they actually think. All right, that will kill the narrative that Harry and Meghan are hated by all Brits. She got that right. Okay, there's that, exactly. So let's see here. It was always Charles' decision, and this was his justification for not granting Harry security. It was his view that a successful attack on Prince Harry will not significantly disturb the British public, but Charles is a coward, so he will blame Ravik or government. Like I was just saying, Ravik, his people are there. And this is why Harry was surprised to see what is Edward Young doing over there? What is certain people doing over there? They were supposed to be working for the firm. Why are they there as well? All right, let's see here. King Charles justified the government preventing his son from having security by arguing that a successful attack on Prince Harry will not significantly disturb the public. Sir James said it was simply incorrect to suggest that there was no evidence that the issue of impact was considered, adding that the death of Diana, Princess of Wales, Harry's mother, was raised as part of the decision. Let's not forget as well, all the steps. Additional thing, I mean, I've said a lot of things in different videos, just plugged all of them together. They all are connected. Another reason why Harry wanted to make sure that a judge review the decision that they made to remove his security. One, he wanted to make sure that it wasn't his fault, because the narrative that was going after, he did his speech when he was going to meet Meghan in Canada, he did a speech and he didn't throw his family under the bus. But the narrative, the papers, like Piers Morgan was saying, is that Harry was a traitor to the country. So to bring it to court, to have the judge review, not suing, review the situation, was to put the truth out. When we look closer, we see it's William's fault. And the other thing as well with Princess Diana, the narrative that they gave after Princess Diana died, they said that she did not want security. Okay? So Harry wanted to make sure that he wanted security because he did not want, those intrusion and all this craziness similar that happened to his mother happened to him. Okay? So he cut all the BS by going to court and have all those documents be released. I really don't think he cared if he... Yes, he does. He does care because he was willing to pay for it and everything. He did all the roadblocks that they put in front of him. He jumped it by counteracted. But at the end, he decided to take it to the judge, to have the judge review it. And the judge agreed with Charles, whatever the judge saw. Okay? So Charles does not have any buffer anymore because Harry revealed everything. All the thing he was gonna do, the traitor, or he didn't want security and all of that, Harry cut all of this out. So we know Harry wanted it. And he wanted to stay. And it's them who push him out. And then look at Bojo come with his book, I mentioned in another video, where they're asking him to go talk to Harry to come back. And meanwhile, use all those papers, trashing him and his wife nonstop every day.
The press and the media. And as they say at the start of episode 1, they say so many books and shows and stories have been written about us. We wanted to have our own say. And remember, the purpose of the PR office at the royal family is to keep the royals in the press all the time. So you have to remember, when I work in newsrooms, it's a fact that every anti-Harry and Meghan story comes from Kensington Palace.
But why
and if it comes from Kensington Palace, why are they briefing against their own grandson?
Well, okay, that's a very... The idea
Why are there never any
I think that's fascinating.
About Prince William?
Well,
And he said nothing. Okay? So now everything is bouncing back to them. Alright, he added, Ravi gave greater weight to the impact on state function being lessened as a result of the change over likely significant public upset were a successful attack on Harry to take place. Mr. Justice Lane will give the judgment over the case at a later date. And we know the result of that. But the part where she highlighted, that's the part she, very important in this. Charles doesn't care. And remember what I said. Charles never cared for Princess Diana. These people have two lives. One for the firm, and the things that they do in the background, that's their real life. For the firm, he chose Princess Diana along with that horse next to him for the firm. And then both the kids are for the firm. And his work was done. And I think he pretty much did say that in one instance. Was it after he went and picked up Princess Diana and Harry after Princess Diana had given birth? His work was done, okay? And then he went to play polo or whatever. So the kids are for the firm. He doesn't give a shit about Harry or William. Okay, look at this. There's papers that saying that he set trust fund for Camilla's kids and all of that. Charles does not care about the kids. His own flesh and blood. They for the firm and he's done with it. And this is why he's saying, if anything happened to Harry, he doesn't give a shit. He didn't say it like that, but that's pretty much that. Okay, so there's 3 comments under that. Sickening. Imagine reading that your father had said this about you. Wow, just wow. Poor Prince Harry. No wonder he took his family and fled Britain. Well, his brother kicked him out. Okay, I just wrote something a few minutes ago. That people should thank William for letting Harry go. Okay, they always slip up and tell the truth when they're not being fed by that family. Fantas and that old man wants the Sussexes back at least part-time, and they're pissed at bad dad and Baldy from preventing the whole family from coming over there because they're losing money. That's their fault. I mean, Harry's fine where he's at. Okay, so insane. I cannot believe that Brits who fully accept the king's consent that is a right to review and reject, amend every piece of legislation coming out of Britain Parliament will not have the power nor ability to influence government on security protection for his son. Okay, the Home Secretary wrote to Charles asking him to change his position on security for Andrew and Harry. Okay, Andrew's security got headlines, but if the government is asking the king to change his stance, it obviously is the king who decides who gets security and who doesn't. Okay, so there's that as well. I have always said it. Charles is a bad husband, father, and grandfather. He pulled down the monarchy with his concubine comforter. Okay, he hates Harry because he takes attention from him. Meanwhile, Harry's just being himself and doing things that he like. I mean, once you're born, once you leave your mother's womb, you become yourself. They want to control everything. Okay, what a terrible father who will do everything to make sure your child is safe, especially after mother being run off, road and killed. After being run off, road and killed, it's all about power, not love. Yep, that's that. Okay, I said it before. I will feel disappointed if Harry attends Charles' funeral. We shall see. Time will tell. Right. I wonder what Harry Coles think. Okay, Harry Coles. Who's Harry Coles? Think his reward will be from King Charles. I don't know who's Harry Coles. King Charles the Cruel. Okay, he is a very evil person. Yep. Okay, he is cool. He is a cool father and grandfather. They really want Harry to drop the court case. That's it. I told you. I've been telling people on social media. That's the gold thing. This is the main thing. They know he has the goods. Okay, they know he has the good. They've been trying for Harry to stop. Harry said no. Okay, this is why I'm afraid for him to go back. Okay, he was never father material. F the monarchy. The word king sounds stupid and ridiculous. Okay, imagine making. I mean, they actually downgrade the value of the word king. Before, anything when you're playing a game or whatever, whoever's the king, you think is the top of the top. But these people just diluted the value of king because the way these people operate. Okay, he's a piece of. Okay, Harry is Diana's son. Okay, why are you guys keep talking about this? It was Charles' decision. He did the same to Diana. That's it. He did the same to Diana. He wanted Diana, that's the word here, he wanted Harry and Meghan scared and Harry to come back begging. That too. But when you look at, for instance, the chase in New York, that was all of them. Alright, they put a bounty and then they wanted them to get scared. But God is good. Instead, now whenever Harry is in New York, the police will provide him protection. Why? Because they're afraid of, a pedestrian, to prevent things from happening for public safety. Okay, so I'm reading everything. At royal family, Charles III will forever be a deadbeat dad. Obviously, it is Camilla calling the shots. She will never have Meghan Markle anywhere near the monarchy. Meghan doesn't care. Meghan doesn't care about that. All Meghan wanted to do was help Harry do some of the charitable work. And this is the perception. They just blow their cover completely with Harry and Meghan. Especially when Meghan came into the fold. Because this is the perception they give people. They were there to help the people, the charities and all of that. And then you have Harry and Meghan doing exactly that. And look what happened. So what are they there for? There's one article I read on one of the videos I'm editing right now where they're starting to question. They want to know how they're being funded, where the monies are going, because everything is secrecy. They cannot have everything and then don't want to show people where the money is going. So people are asking this question. Again, I'm in the middle of editing it right now. Actually, I just started and I finished one. I did 3 videos earlier. So this is my 4th one. So that my 3rd one I'm trying to edit. All right. So let's see. Harry is suing half of them. Okay, why do they want him in their nest? Why do they think that Harry will ever bring Meghan and his children back to the UK so they can be abused or worse? Harry is not leaving Meghan. They just have to deal with that. Okay, 2 British men were jailed after conspiring to kill Prince Harry. A former Met Assistant Commissioner confirmed there were death threats made against Meghan. How any sane person can claim neither of them needs any kind of police protection when they are in the UK is beyond me. All baggage for God. Baggage for God. All right, let me pause and see. There's something that popped up. Someone just like what I just wrote. This is what I was just mentioning here. Let me pause that GIF. Oops. Let's go back. So there's me here. I think every time we see Prince Harry enjoying life and doing some amazing things for society, we need to show our appreciation to his brother, Prince William, for releasing him. That's the bird releasing him. We should always let him know how much we appreciate the good deed he contributes to society for not keeping Harry to himself. And I said, thank you. There's that, and I put the shade at the back. I was running out of character, and I think that's how I erased that 2 here, to his book, the number 2, because I was running out of character. So somebody like it. All right, so that's it. And let me get back to editing. I just wanted to listen to that video of them. Okay, they just posted that 28. 10:34. Oh, it's 1. So they posted a while, so it just popped up on my timeline. So I took care of that already. So that's it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.